The Sphere lost over $500 million in its first year despite sold-out residencies. Its most recent quarter posted a $125 million loss, the largest yet. CEO James Dolan called it the first pancake, admitting the $2.3 billion venue's business model may never work. Here's how the economics actually work. The Sphere generates revenue from three sources: ticket sales for concerts and the permanent postcard from Earth Film Experience, event bookings like UFC fights or corporate takeovers, and advertising on the Exosphere, the exterior LED screen visible across Las Vegas. In its best quarter, the venue earned $175 million in revenue. That sounds substantial until you account for what it costs to operate. Every show requires custom 3D content created specifically for the venue's 16,000 by 16,000 pixel resolution wraparound screen. Artists can't simply bring their existing tour production. Everything must be rebuilt from scratch using Sphere's proprietary technology. That means months of pre-production, specialized technical staff, and content creation costs that dwarf traditional concert venues. The permanent film experience generates high-margin revenue once produced, but the initial production of Postcard from Earth reportedly cost over $100 million. Even at full capacity with premium ticket pricing, the math doesn't close the gap between revenue and the relentless operational costs. Those operational costs never stop. The venue carries 167,000 speakers and 1.2 million LED panels that require constant maintenance, calibration, and eventual replacement. Electricity bills alone run into millions monthly. The Exosphere's LED panels draw enough power to light a small city, and the interior screen's brightness and resolution demand enormous energy consumption. Specialized technical staff work around the clock managing systems that didn't exist before Sphere invented them, meaning there's no established labor market and no competitive wage pressure keeping costs down. Every element of the venue was custom engineered, so when something breaks, you can't order replacement parts from a catalog. You commission them. The building doesn't operate like a concert venue that books acts and sells tickets. It operates like a technology demonstration project that occasionally hosts concerts to justify its existence. The business model depends on achieving something no entertainment venue has ever sustained, being busy 365 days a year with premium-priced events. Dolan stated explicitly that Sphere needs to operate constantly with multiple events most days to justify its existence. But artists capable of selling out 20,000-seat venues aren't abundant. And those who can don't necessarily want to invest months creating Sphere-specific content when traditional tours let them perform anywhere with existing production. U2 worked because they're among the biggest acts in rock history with deep pockets and willingness to experiment. The Eagles worked because they're a legacy act with a massive catalog and audience willing to pay premium prices. But how many acts fit those criteria? And how many will choose Sphere over traditional touring that reaches more markets with less risk? The venue needs a constant pipeline of headliners willing to commit significant time and money to Sphere-exclusive productions. That pipeline doesn't currently exist in sustainable volume. The Exosphere provides the most visible revenue stream literally. Advertising starts around $450,000 per day, with higher rates during peak tourist seasons. Brands from PlayStation to Coca-Cola have run campaigns turning the structure into a giant billboard visible from anywhere in Las Vegas. But advertising revenue alone can't cover $500 million in annual losses. And the Exosphere creates a perverse dynamic where the venue's most profitable feature, its exterior, generates value without requiring anyone to enter the building. Tourists photograph the Sphere from the street, post it on social media, and drive on without buying tickets. The structure has become Instagram famous while remaining financially unsustainable. That viral visibility is valuable for brand recognition, but brand recognition doesn't pay the electricity bill or fund content creation for the next residency. Abu Dhabi announced plans in October 2024 to build the second Sphere, with construction fully funded by the Department of Culture and Tourism. Under the franchise model, Abu Dhabi pays Sphere Entertainment an initiation fee and ongoing royalties for access to designs, technology, and intellectual property. This matters because it reveals the actual business strategy. Sphere Entertainment isn't trying to make money operating venues anymore. They're trying to franchise the concept and collect fees while someone else assumes the construction costs and operational risk. Abu Dhabi will spend billions building their Sphere, and Sphere Entertainment collects payments without putting capital at risk. Dolan also revealed plans for smaller 5,000-seat Sphere venues that can be built faster and cheaper, franchising the technology at reduced scale. The pivot from operator to franchisor suggests that even Sphere Entertainment understands the Las Vegas venue doesn't generate adequate returns on a $2.3 billion investment. Better to sell the concept to others than build more yourself. The broader Vegas context makes Sphere's struggles more significant. Las Vegas tourism declined 6.5% in 2025, with hotel occupancy dropping and gaming revenue falling for 9 consecutive months. When tourists cut back, entertainment spending gets hit hardest. Sphere tickets range from $120 to $400, pricing that competes with fine dining, show tickets, and gambling budget in visitors' discretionary spending. As Vegas raised prices across hotels, food, and attractions, something had to give. A family visiting Vegas might photograph the Sphere for free but skip buying tickets because they've already spent budget on resort fees, parking, and inflated meal prices. The venue launched during a period when Vegas was actively driving away its middle-class customer base through aggressive price increases, then wondered why those customers didn't pay premium prices for experimental entertainment. The technical complexity creates additional problems. Early employees and contractors described intense pressure, long hours, and constant troubleshooting as the venue attempted to operate at scale. Custom technology means custom problems. When a conventional concert venue's sound system malfunctions, technicians call the manufacturer and order replacement parts. When Sphere's proprietary systems fail, engineers must diagnose unique issues and fabricate solutions. That extends downtime and increases costs. The venue's ambition, creating an entirely new category of entertainment experience, also creates operational complexity that conventional venues avoid by using standardized equipment and established workflows. Every innovation adds potential failure points. Every custom system requires specialized maintenance. Every unique feature multiplies costs without necessarily increasing revenue. The contrast with traditional Vegas economics is stark. Casinos gave away entertainment to keep people gambling. Elvis performed at the International Hotel to attract gamblers. Celine Dion's residency at Caesar's Palace drove traffic to the casino floor. Even modern residencies at Allegiant Stadium or T-Mobile Arena benefit from surrounding casinos, hotels, restaurants, and bars capturing spending before and after shows. Sphere sits alone. It has no casino. It has no hotel rooms. It doesn't feed traffic to other properties or benefit from integrated resort economics. The venue must generate profit purely from its own operations, a burden no major Vegas entertainment property has traditionally carried. The isolation makes the business model more fragile. When a concert sells out at T-Mobile Arena, MGM Grand benefits from hotel bookings, Aria benefits from dinner reservations, and Bellagio benefits from post-show drinks. When Sphere sells out, only Sphere benefits. And apparently, those benefits don't cover the costs. Right now, investors continue supporting the venture. Hedge fund managers including Steve Cohen and Ken Griffin have increased their stakes in Sphere Entertainment, betting that operational losses will eventually convert to profits as the venue refines its model and franchises expand. Morgan Stanley owns over 7% of the company's shares. But investor patience isn't infinite. At some point, continued losses force either a strategic pivot or a recognition that the concept doesn't work financially. The Abu Dhabi franchise provides breathing room by generating franchise fees and royalties without requiring Sphere Entertainment to fund construction. But if Abu Dhabi's Sphere also operates at a loss if the fundamental business model doesn't improve with replication, then franchising just spreads the problem geographically without solving it. The question facing Vegas isn't whether the Sphere is impressive. It obviously is. The question is whether impressive technology can substitute for the fundamentals that made Vegas work for 70 years. Emotional connection, accessible pricing, integrated resort economics, and creating experiences people want to repeat rather than just photograph once. The Sphere chose spectacle over sustainability, engineering over economics, and viral visibility over financial viability. It became a monument to what Vegas thinks the future should look like without asking whether anyone actually wants that future badly enough to make it profitable. The building will likely stand for decades, regardless of financial performance. $2.3 billion structures don't get demolished easily. But standing and succeeding are different outcomes. Right now, the Sphere stands. Whether it ever succeeds on its own financial terms remains the most expensive open question in Las Vegas. What happens when a city famous for calculated risk builds a venue that's all spectacle and no business model and then tries to franchise the mistake? Have you been inside the Sphere? Was it worth the price or just Instagram content? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this investigation valuable, subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter.